What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Burndown. And it is crunch time, man. I'm burning the midnight oil, daylight oil, whatever oil I got left. We're burning it because we got to get to LS Fest 2022. And I don't even really have a running driving car yet, but I do have a bad beast of a motorhome. I am so proud of that thing. Now we can make it look a little bit better. We'll show it some love because it's finally working properly. But for today, for now, what we're going to work on is the boom. The boom needs some love. If you've been following along on this guy, the starter thing, I have to do like the machine gun arcade thumb to get it to click over and fire off. So that's terrible. So I have an old crusty starter that was like Old Faithful, and I didn't turn it in as a core because I was going to pull this one and turn that one in and have like two new starters. Well, that one was a good trusty starter that worked, and then I put the one in it that was in there. And then I found out that I had a neutral safety switch problem. So I was like, well, so I just left it in there. That's what I've been running on, but for whatever reason, it's doing the click thing, and it drives me nuts because you can't go nowhere trying to do an arcade thing and hoping your car starts. But it's been okay to move it back and forth in the garage. But today, we're gonna mess with that and swap the old starter back in because we are going to wire the brushless fan setup. I was out here last night a bit, but then I figured I had some stuff to do today, and I'm like, I just didn't really want to wear myself out and try to get a little bit of rest. So, as you can see, we already have a mess going. This is the wiring that I pulled out of the Chevy Volt. This was actually given to me from the guys because this one was the set that I bought from the yard that pulled it for me. It's not quite long enough to where it needs to go. So I got this relay that had the same size. This is like some 12, I believe it's 12 gauge. And I soldered on fusible links. These are a 14 fusible link on 2 of these guys. So that was as far as I got yesterday. And then what we'll do is we'll put the old starter in, and I'm going to run it to the hot on the starter underneath the boom. And then we'll string these out, you know, till they basically meet up with these guys. And then we'll do a little snippy snip. We'll hardwire these together. And then that basically takes care of this. It has a factory ground. This is all factory stuff. This actually meets a lug that I already have on the car. So this thing's wiring itself. And then once we get it routed and get it in place and it looks good, I'll throw some sheeting or whatever around this thing to protect it because it's going to be under the car. We'll get it out of the way of like hopefully the heat and get it fastened properly because it'll be live all the time. When the key's on, this thing will be live because it's activated by a pulse width. So then we'll just have to wire up this chingadera here. So again, we're going to take this back to the starter, and this should be under the car. This is the one I pulled out, and we'll get it rolling. So we'll do that, and then hopefully we'll get the fans to fire. We'll test them just like we did in the Bago. Make sure they don't rub or whatever because I had to modify everything. And then once we get those to work properly, I've got the transmission cooler mounted, secured, line secured. I was like, I can't beat these guys up anymore with this because they're going to start giving up on me. So I didn't beat you up with that. So we'll just do the wiring, and then we can start heat cycling this thing. I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm probably shot myself in the foot anyway. I bought a new O-ring when I put the oil pump back in. This is the high volume one, and it didn't fit properly. It wasn't tight enough in my opinion. So then I ended up running the one that was previously in the other pump, and that one was in there, but I was like, eh. So anyway, we took 1,000th off. So I think there's 1,000 clearance or something, or 2. I forget what it was on the crank, but I had 1 more 1,000th to go because I had to polish it because of that bearing. So I'm assuming the oil pressure idle may be a little bit lower than what it was before, or like what the Bago is. But I want to heat it up, put it in a good heat cycle, and just let the damn thing idle because these fans should catch it no matter what, and just see what the oil pressure does. And if it starts to act stupid when the thing warms up, we'll have to replace that O-ring because I'll stay up at night. So if I have to do it, I have to do it. But we'll idle it. If we're anywhere around 20 pounds at idle, I'll just leave it alone. If it dips anything below that, we'll change it. We'll change it in the car. I'm not doing it today, but at least we'll know. Because today, we'll put some heat into it, and we'll idle the damn thing. And then if the fans and all that stuff work, we may as well go around the block, right? And we'll see what the oil pressure does and all that fun stuff. So let's jack that up, climb underneath, get to wiring. Let's have a good day. Let's get Old Faithful out here next to my one woodworking tool. That's the only one that I own. I don't like woodworking very much. This actually makes me kind of laugh too because I heard Matt say in one of his videos that his starter looks like it was from the bottom of the ocean. So everybody's gonna think that I'm copying Matt, I would imagine, but this one probably looks better than his. So, look at that. This is actually pretty to remember. I didn't even feel bad about putting this in there. Maybe I'll wipe it down a little bit. And I gotta steal these dudes from the new boy over there. But yeah, that was supposedly rebuilt, and we'll see. We'll see if this one fires off. Took a little more time than I wanted to. I had a buddy stop by and BS. So anyway, this goes in here like this. So it plugs into the fans. This is my ground, and then there's multiple wires because it's all factory stuff. But essentially, there's extra stuff in here that we just left. But anyway, the two grounds go to here. Those two, and then the white wires are connected to this blue chingadera. And then I don't have the correct weather pack, so we're just gonna put it on a double for now, and then we'll get a single. So this will go out to this will plug in to the computer, and then this cruises around, and I've got the two fusible links that go to the starter. So we'll put this in, and then I'll figure out how to secure this. Looks like there's a spot on the block, so we'll get a spot on the frame, a spot on the block, and it'll keep it nice secure. And then we'll zip tie these guys away from any of the heat of the exhaust. I'll see if I have any wrap. We'll see how close it is. Let's just get this done, man. All right, we got the harness laid out, trying to zip tie it off a bit so this stuff doesn't move. Ground goes over there, the control wire goes out that way. And then here we are doing my least favorite thing on the planet, drilling holes. So I'll attach it here, it zips over there, and then bada boom, Bob's your uncle. So, and then we can adjust the length on this to keep it off stuff. But this thing is hot full time when the battery switches on, so I want to make sure that this thing doesn't rub a hole or do anything stupid, because we got fuel and spark right here. So no bueno, we got to keep this nice and tidy and safe. All right, here is the finished operation. We got all this stuff, cruises around, cruises to there. We got a Dell clamp. This thing hangs out, doesn't touch nothing. It's zip tied off up here. So, you know, it'll wiggle. There's nothing really for it to rub or touch on. Then it's grabbed over there. So then they go back through to the starter. So that's it on that. We'll get those guys tightened down, the other wire tightened down, and then we'll just get the signal wire over to this boy. Then we should be done. But that took way more time than I thought. But at least it looks decent, and hopefully it shouldn't rub or, you know. This is a safety concern, so that thing needs to be right more than it needs to be done fast. All right, so I had a relay here that would run the fans that used to be here, but now these are constant power. You know, they're not even keyed 12, it's straight to the battery. And then they have a controller built in the basically like the excite wire that you send the pulse signal through. So now I got to figure out which wire was my signal, and I think we would use the white wire. Pretty much sure, but we'll double check because I have a red and a white. The red would be used to trigger the relay because you need a power side and a ground side, and then that would send power out. But again, I got rid of that. I gave it to my boy KP. So we got that hooked up, and this thing should beep if we are correct. So here, on, off, on, off. So that tells me that's the signal wire, along with all the other gobbledygook. So we'll just extend this white wire to meet this guy down here that I just made into this harness. And again, we need a single plug, but I didn't have one, so we'll just run the dual for now. And then we'll button it all up into here, so that'll plug in, and then we should be able to test fire these boys. So we'll bring you back. Hopefully we got some fans that spin, and then we are awesome. Aside from, I got the transmission fan to wire still, but let's get these to spin. That'll give me some motivation. All right, before I chase my tail really quick, I'm gonna fire the car up because it doesn't like low voltage. So let's try to fire it and then see if we can get him to spin, because I was having that problem on the boom. And then if that still doesn't do it, we'll check the signal and all that fun stuff. So let's see. Maybe our starter works, huh? Let's see how we go with that. I think we'll be fine. See if we can start it on here. Come on, starter. See if we can get some sort of victory, huh? Old Faithful. Love it. for 1, baby. We are bad 1,000. And I was smart enough to know because I did that to myself on the freaking Winnebago too, so. Woo! We got it today. Look at him spinning. Look at him spinning. Let's kick some juice to those boys. We go to USB link. Let's just grab one of these dogs. Let's go. Let's go crazy. Those things are bad, dude. I love those things. Watch this. Ready? Take 2. Ha. Take 10. Go magic cardboard. Look at that. Oh, come on, hold it. I think it's the vibration. Look at that. Move that intercooler that far away. You don't get no better than that. That is awesome. Let's turn this. Dude, it held that freaking piece of cardboard through the intercooler. Right? So we got through here. Then I've got a gap there. It's not that bad. We've got a gap here. Look, I can stick my whole hand in here. And it was holding this thing there. If that doesn't make you a believer in these fans for $100, I don't know what to tell you. I'm super stoked. We're gonna end it here. I had to clean up. It's a new week. We gotta thrash some more. We gotta get this turned all the way to LS Fest West 2022. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your cousin. I'm out.